breaking news real fast. The Syrian government has resigned. The Syrian government has resigned. Well, are you shocked? But here's the deal. But the President Assad, he don't want to step down. These guys they'll sacrifice anybody else. Yeah, I'll fire my whole government if I have to. It's just corruption. It's corruption to the core. Look, President Assad's been in charge 11 years. But his family has ruled Syria for 4 decades. You might say, well, what has this got to do with anything? Can I read one verse out of the Bible? And then I'm going to read to you the Associated Press article. Here we go. It's called The Burden of Damascus. Here's what the Bible says. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. I'm going to read it to you again. The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city. It shall be a ruinous heap. I'm telling you what President Assad is doing. He is setting his country up for a disaster because he refuses to succumb. He refuses to let the people have their country. It's part of the chaos that's going to create the rise of the Antichrist. It's part of the chaos that the Muslims believe, that President Ahmadinejad of Iran believes. It's the chaos that creates the rise of the 12th Imam. The rise of the 12th Imam, the rise of the false prophet are the same. The Bible is always true. Now let me read to you real quick. I've got some technical difficulties today. I've done 2 20-minute studies on the 12th Imam, false prophet, and for some reason I'm having a hard time getting them to download. So I'm just jumping in real quick right here on this one. But anyway, here's the Associated Press. In Syria, Damascus, the Syria's cabinet resigned today, March 28th, today, March 29th, today, to help quell a wave of popular fury that erupted more than a week ago and is now threatening President Bashar Assad's 11-year rule in one of the most authoritarian and closed-off nations in the entire Middle East. Assad, whose family has controlled Syria for 4 decades. Are you serious? Are you serious? One family? Are you serious? This is not good. Is trying to calm the growing dissent with a string of concessions. He's expected to address the nation in the next 24 hours to lift the emergency laws in place since 1963 and move to annul other harsh restrictions on the civil liberties and the political freedoms of the people. Now, more than 60 people have already died since March 18th as security forces have cracked down on the protesters. It's the same old stuff. They smack the protesters, they crush the protesters, and then they fire their government and they say, but I'm staying in power. Mubarak tried to do it. Gaddafi tried to do it. The president right now, King Abdullah of Jordan, has just done it. Pakistan's president's done it. Algeria wants to do it. Look, it's the same stuff. It's the same playbook. It's not going to work. Especially Damascus, Syria. It's not going to work. Just like Egypt. It was prophesied in Isaiah 19 that Egypt would fall. And as it's prophesied in the book of Daniel chapter 11 that Egypt would fall and Libya will fall, it's bloody. And Ethiopia is going to fall and other countries. Syria, you're done. Damascus, listen to me, get out of Damascus. I don't know when it's going to happen, but here's what it says. The burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city. It shall be a ruinous heap. We're watching Bible prophecy fulfill itself right before our very eyes. This is breaking news. The Syrian government has resigned, but President Assad says he's going to stay in power. We'll see. We will see. Crazy sometimes. I'm Paul Begley. Are you saved? Do you see the Bible, what's happening? Or do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? One prophecy after another. Hosea's the dead birds, dead fish, dead cows. Jesus predicted there'd be great earthquakes in different places, famines, pestilence, Japan, the dead whales in New Zealand. The eagles have gathered together, eating the dead rats, the dead scraps, the dead poison in Vancouver, Canada. 7,000 eagles dying when they're supposed to be hunting and soaring. Jesus said in Matthew 24:28, there where the carcass is, will the eagles be gathered together? Are you saved? The fourth horseman was seen galloping through Cairo, Egypt. Are you saved? The third horseman is definitely riding through the land of Japan with the earthquakes and the price of wheat and barley, and the water's no good. And even this morning they're saying plutonium, nuclear plutonium is seeping. It's put the president of Japan, the emperor of Japan, has put the island of Japan on high alert. They should have been evacuating that whole island. I told you that the day after the earthquake. I said, you got to get them out of there. You got to get them out of there. You got to get them out of there. The day is coming when the famine is here and the pestilence, the grievous sores, the cancers are coming up in Japan. Folks, we're seeing the rise soon of the Antichrist. Soon the false prophet, the 12th Imam that I ran once. That's a 12th Imam. That's a false prophet. It's in the Bible. Send me a personal message. I want to be saved. Paul, right here on YouTube. I want to be saved. And get more information at my website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. God help you. I'm praying for all of you. Please give your heart to Jesus. Please.